The Studi is a beauty that is different by design.
Hey everybody, Kyle here again at the Studebaker National Museum. I am down here standing in front of what is, I think, one of my favorite vehicles. It is our 1911 Studebaker Electric Coupe, and it's one of 3 electric vehicles in our collection built by Studebaker. It's just a really cool looking vehicle. You can't miss it. It's very unique. Next to one of Studebaker's early gasoline vehicles. So, you know, it's kind of a neat way to look at the two next to each other. So 1911, this was in the very early automotive era. This is a period, especially the decade before, in the first decade of the 1900s, where there wasn't a clear direction yet of where automobiles would be going. I mean, you had cars driven by steam power, you had electric vehicles, you had early gasoline powered cars, and some of you may have seen videos or photos of big urban areas like Chicago and New York in the early 1900s. There's every kind of vehicle going every which way. So there was a lot of experimentation, a lot going on with sort of these newfangled automobiles, right? But electrics had a lot of benefits over their competitors at the time. I mean, they were quieter, they were cleaner, they were easier to drive, there was no gears to shift, to change. So there were a lot of benefits, and they were very popular for many years before internal combustion engines, gasoline-powered cars really took off. And we don't have time right now to get into that whole story, but really it was the invention of the electric starter. It was the availability of cheap gasoline, things like that, and the fact that while they were very helpful and beneficial in cities where you had to go on short trips, when you got out of cities on unimproved roads, hilly areas, they didn't do so well. You had to be near a charging station so you didn't die on the road. And so for a lot of these reasons, gas-powered cars ended up sort of putting a lot of these early electric automakers out of business. But it's all coming back around today, which is really interesting. So this particular model, again, 2 very large, several hundred-pound batteries, lead-acid batteries that would have been stored in this compartment here. You would have gotten a top speed of around 21 miles an hour, and you could have gone about 70 miles on a charge, which isn't bad for the era, maybe for today's standards. But if you look at this, it is very reminiscent of carriages you might see of the period, and that shouldn't surprise us because, again, this is sort of the direct descendant of horse-drawn vehicles of the time. They were primarily sold to upper-class folks in cities who could have used a vehicle like this. You can see it's protected on all sides. It has windows that would kind of be removed and can be stored in the body. Has very nice finishes on the inside. Would have cost about $1,800 at in 1911, which is about $50,000 today, to give you a sense of who might have been purchasing these vehicles. So we're fortunate to have one in the collection. I think they're really cool. So if you ever get a chance, come down and see it in person, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Different by design. Studebaker is. Studebaker is. Studebaker is.